Let's talk about water. So what are the key events of the water cycle to remember? All the events that occur in a water system are rooted in the water cycle, which is the continuous movement of water in space and time through the atmosphere, the earth, and the water bodies. Here is how these events will occur naturally. So the first one to remember is precipitation, and that can occur in terms of rainfall, snowfall, fog, and dew. The second one is interception. As the water is falling, it's being intercepted for the vegetation canopy. Third one, evaporation. As the sun heats up the water, water starts evaporating from the soil, lakes, ponds, and so on. Transpiration, which is how the plants use the water and transpire it. This can be plants, crops, trees, grass. Evapotranspiration, which is the coupled process of evaporation of water from the soil and the transpiration of water from plants. This is used to estimate how much water is used by crops, trees, and natural vegetation. Runoff, which is the overland flow reaching rivers, and we also call it stream flow. The next one is infiltration, and this is how water moves from the surface of the earth into the soil. Percolation is once that water has infiltrated into the soil, the water will continue moving downwards towards the water table, reaching aquifers or even a stream. An aquifer, which is a storage of water in the ground, and the aquifer can store, or we can have aquifer recharge. And finally, storage of water. This can be in the atmosphere, through clouds, vapor, in the surface of the earth, through rivers, lakes, ocean, glaciers, and icebergs, and in the ground. And in the ground we store it in terms of, in the soil or in aquifers. Regardless if the elements of the water systems are natural or artificial, the water cycle will occur. However, recently, the accumulation of the human activities and climate change have modified these processes, and I'm going to provide some examples. The first one is the alteration of precipitation patterns. Climate change is altering when and how intense rain and snow occurs. In certain areas during the rainy season, precipitation occurs more intensely and in shorter periods of time. This leads to longer dry spells between rainfall, impacting the water availability and potentially leading to drought conditions. Modify interception, so when we have deforestation and land use change, these decrease the interception of the precipitation and may increase runoff. Increase evapotranspiration. As temperature of the earth increases, so the evaporation from the soil and the transpiration from plants. Augmented runoff rates. Land use changes and erosion leads to higher runoff, causing risk of flooding. Reduce infiltration and percolation. Changes in ground, such as soil compaction or sometimes putting unimpervious materials such as concrete, reduces the infiltration of water into the ground, which eventually disrupts the groundwater movement. Changes in water storage. The creation of artificial infrastructure, man-made infrastructure such as surface water reservoirs, dams, canals, have modified the flow in rivers. These alter the form of the rivers. In some cases, we also have groundwater overdraft, and it's not only that we are depleting the water stored in the ground, but also that land subsidence, so the soil, the ground can sink.